Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Guilty Movie Pleasures. In-depth discussion on movies, no matter how guilty they make you feel.
All right, Guilty Movie Pleasure fans, coming in hot today. I don't know what the hell's going on in here today. I really don't.
I am so excited.
Ben, my co-host at Ben Begley Comedy, this is his favorite movie of all time. It ranks up there with Shawshank Redemption and Braveheart for him.
Yeah,
it should have won many an Oscar. Instead, it flipped on the other side. You guys know him from his movie Cloudy with a Chance of Love in the Rocks, which was on Hallmark this week.
Cloudy with a Chance of Love on the Rocks?
Yeah, on the rocks. That's you know.
Yeah, that's the alcoholics version.
Exactly.
Where everybody just like, hey.
It just takes place at the Chop House there on Ventura. I don't know. I just made that. I was thinking of the Smokehouse. You know, the Smokehouse.
I like it.
We're talking the Garbage Pail Kids movie today here on Guilty Movie Pleasures. And from here on out, it's Ben's show.
Well, first off, Josh, I want to ask you, because I'll go into my love for this movie, even though I will fully admit that the entire Schmoes audience is going to call me a hypocrite because we trashed Howard the Duck.
Yes.
And let me just first admit that this movie is one of the worst films ever made, but I love it so much because of how much I watched it as a child. But before we get into that, I want to know your experience of this as a kid and then rewatching it as an adult.
Well, okay, so I know that I saw the movie as a kid. I know that I did.
By the way, this is the theme song playing.
Oh, thanks.
Where one of the parts is...
Which I'm sure you look on every jukebox to see if they have it.
Yeah. Well, here's a pail, and sends you to the principal. You could be a garbage pail kid. Makes no sense. So it's encouraging bad behavior.
Guys, please don't enable him. This movie has enabled Ben Begley. Listen, I know you really well. We've known each other for a long time. I know that you have your nerdy tendencies. You have your collectible tendencies. This is as low as it gets. You are usually very highbrow. You have a lot of things that I consider to be very on point within the realm of respectability.
This, I guess, is my guiltiest guilty movie pleasure.
Well, this is the definition of a guilty movie pleasure. If
Where anyone who likes this, it has.
Yes. Because,
it's got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. 0. But keep going. Tell me your opinion of it. 0%.
How many movies out there legit have 0%?
I think Ballistic X versus Severs has 0%.
What the hell is that?
It's the Lucy Liu and Antonio Banderas assassin movie.
Okay, sure.
I thought that was fun too.
Well, I will say, so my brother and I were big baseball card collectors, as kids were back in the day. Nobody really collects baseball cards anymore. And I think just to piss off my brother, because he was such a Masters of the Universe fan, and I love Masters of the Universe, don't get me wrong, I started collecting these Garbage Pail Kids, right? Because Garbage Pail Kids were the trashy trailer park version to Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, they were also a really fun way to make fun of your... Like, I had a younger sister, and it was a really fun way to make fun of their toys.
Oh,
and like, for like an older brother, it was like, it always grossed out my sister, all the cards.
Sure.
And I think it also... I was watching this trailer for a documentary about the Garbage Pail Kids. It's coming out. It's called 30 Years of Garbage. And they had a Kickstarter. And it's not
about the band Garbage?
No, that'd be amazing. I love it. Oh, There's going to be a lot of Garbage fans that watch it and go, what the fuck is this?
Jesus.
But it had some really good points that it was kind of this like counterculture movement where it was like these anti-cutesy toy things. They were
and they were for their grunge.
It was really violent and really grotesque, and like young boys, especially my age, these came out
violent. This is an atom bomb toy.
The first card ever.
The first card ever. It's the rarest of the rare.
That toy alone is worth $30.
This tiny toy of plastic that was molded out of cheap plastic. Talk about violent. His head is an atom bomb. Guys.
Oh shit! That's actually the original card right there.
There it is. Yeah. And
not the card. I don't have it, but I have the package.
That's Atom Bomb.
He's hitting a button and his head's exploding. That's the first intro to the world.
I mean, it's disgusting. They were disgusting cards. And my parents were legit worried that I was going to be weird.
Well, this came out.
Your parents should be as well.
The movie came out in '87. I remember previews on TV. I was watching it in my grandma's basement, the previews for it, and I was like, "Mom, I gotta see that." I was 5 at the time, and she was like, "There is no way you're seeing that movie." So it became like this forbidden fruit for me.
Sure.
You know? But I don't know if I've actually heard what you think about it
No,
yet before I get into my legacy of love for it.
But I remember watching it as a kid and probably thinking this was terrible as I spit.
That's what I remember watching this as a kid.
It couldn't have been better timed. And this movie was so bad when I was a kid that probably I was like, well, it was Garbage Pail Kids, and I was 5, and I probably just like let it slip my mind. And then rewatching it.
Had you not seen it since? You don't remember it? Okay.
No. And I hadn't seen it since until last night. And I'm texting you throughout the thing going, there was no plot in this movie.
No.
Not only was the script bad, but the dolls were terrifyingly bad.
Yeah, and they even said on IMDb how they hadn't figured out the puppetry for the mouths yet, animatronics. And the director was like, well, we got to keep on schedule, so let's hope it fixes itself throughout production. That's why sometimes they're like, hey, what kind of moving with the mouse? And other times it's like, and his mouth isn't moving at all. It's really... And
it's a bad ventriloquist.
Their eyes sometimes blink, and this is what Renee, my wife, noticed, is that sometimes their eyes blink, and other times they're just dead eyes, just staring at you. Yes. Hannibal Lecter, Chucky, creepy-ass kid style.
If Chuck E. Cheese, when it opened, were to start with their animatronics and they were that restaurant would have never survived.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would have ever gone back.
Kids would have ran out screaming.
As delicious as that pizza is, nobody would have ever gone back to Chuck E. Cheese. This movie scared me as an adult. Mostly it scared me because I can't believe that it was made, and it was like Topps, who makes the cards, who makes great baseball cards as well, greenlit this movie, put it into production. They greenlit the script. I don't think the script was written by anybody.
I don't think the script was read by anyone.
No.
I think actors showed up set and were like, what the hell are we doing
This
today?
is great. And we're on a movie, everybody. Look at us. They're just making it up as they go along. It's literally like the graduation class from UCB, the first UCB class improv that you went to, but the worst class that UCB has ever graduated. Like if Amy Poehler came in...
Improvising a Garbage Pail Kids script.
Exactly. Like if Amy Poehler were to come in and see this graduation of this UCB class, she's like, I'm shutting down the school.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here, let me explain, Schmoville, my love for this.
Go on, Ben.
So I love the cards so much because as I've said 100 times on the show,
You're a collector.
And I was also very sheltered. I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies. I wasn't allowed to watch horror films.
Okay.
So this was like the coolest and the edgiest my childhood got was Garbage Pail Kids.
Okay.
So when I got to see this movie, I convinced my neighbor who used to babysit me to rent it for me.
What was his name?
What's that?
What was his name?
Rose Anderson was Rose and Bob and Rose Anderson. Okay. So I convinced them to rent it for me, and then I took 2 VCRs and I bootlegged it as a kid. Like I was like 7 or 8, and I taught myself how to bootleg the VHS tape. And I bootlegged it onto another tape for myself, and I watched it every day after school whenever I would come home. And I think my parents eventually knew that I was watching it and didn't care anymore. But when I was 5, they didn't want me to see it. But 7 or 8, they were okay with. They never actually sat down and watched it with me. I've seen this.
Is the movie rated PG-13?
It's rated PG because it was before
PG,
I think it was before the PG-13. No, actually 87.
I mean, there is a serious amount of violence against the youth by an older man who's a gangster, but nobody knows what he's ganging.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. So I love this movie so much. Then it went out of print because Topps got sued. All this stuff happened by Cabbage Patch Kids. And so I searched every video store I went into across the United States, any family trip we went on, anytime when I came out here to visit California before college, we're talking senior year of high school, I went into every video store in California looking for this VHS tape. Then freshman year of college, I discovered this thing called eBay. This thing called eBay.
eBay.
And for $36...
$36.
I got a beat to shit copy of it on VHS right here. And when this came in the mail, I ran around the halls of my college singing the Garbage Pail Kids theme song going, "You can be a garbage pail kid!" And I ran into everybody's dorm room, and then I watched it by myself in my single dorm room at the time. And it's I wonder why I didn't get laid till I was 20.
I might leave.
It's super weird I didn't get laid till I was 20. But, so that's my genesis right there. And Alexis is dying over here. She's in the room with us. And
I'm not shocked. After most of these stories,
I feel like this just got the nerdiest I will ever get, ever. And it's like an intervention. We're having a Garbage Pail Kids intervention, not a podcast.
You know,
today,
in the
guys.
episode of Saved by the Bell when it was the sprain and they had the clapometer, and the clapometer, and then it like exploded,
Uh-huh.
your nerdometer just went through the friggin' roof, dude. This is absurd.
And the funniest thing though is since I have such a love for it, and since there was like, ironically, it was this movie and RoboCop.
Okay.
Are the two movies that were the forbidden fruit
Listen,
as
I'll
a kid.
give you RoboCop.
I get it. Yeah, no, I'm fully admitting this is a terrible film. But it was like it was like the treasure I could never find. And then once I finally did, I watched it so much in college. When I got the DVD, I've watched this DVD at least 4 times, and I watched it a 5th time last night.
Is there any extras on the DVD?
No, it's just a trailer.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish. The making of the world's worst puppets.
Yeah, right?
No, but so like I said, I'm fully admitting it's terrible. Then I found out there was a TV series, animated series that never came out.
Sure.
And it is, I can't even get through a full episode.
The redhead on the corner
It's
kind of looks like my neighbor, which is kind of
it's weird, right?
whoops, daisy.
The TV show, from what I can gather, it's
Are you periscoping
Hey,
right
the TV show, from what I can gather, they're normal kids that their superpowers they turn into these gross ass Garbage Pail Kids, and they don't really have powers. They just kind of look ugly and weird.
Okay.
I fast forwarded through 1 episode, so I'm not that big of a nerd that I watched all 5 hours for the 13 episodes of
But
this.
you will eventually.
Eventually,
probably.
yeah, eventually.
You're going to make your kids watch the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh, I'm gonna totally, and my wife's
Yeah.
gonna hate it. So should we do the plot real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
In under
25 seconds.
Josh is so defeated.
Okay,
I love
you have
this.
20 seconds to do the plot.
20 seconds to do the plot.
And now.
Okay, so what happens is it starts off, and basically there's this antique shop.
15 seconds.
Shut up. There's this antique. I'm doing 30 seconds. There's this antique shop where these kids are running around. You don't really get to see who they are.
10,
and then the magician
9,
comes in, and you can't make me do this. Anyways, intro Dodger. He's getting beat up by these kids. He gets thrown into a trash pail. It turns out
All right,
slime.
Ben Begley, everybody, on the plot of Garbage Pail.
How dare you? I'm gonna keep
No,
going.
go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go now. Okay, so the beginning of the movie, we're in an antique shop, and there's this trash can that has these weird little things running around. You don't really get to see what they are yet.
Sure.
And then you cut to a bully chasing Dodger, and they throw him in some sewage water that's randomly at a bridge in a park. He goes back to the antique
rough area of
shop.
town.
You set up that he's in love with this girl who's a total bitch.
Yep.
And then they come in to bully him again, and they knock
Tangerine.
over this
His name is
garbage pail. Yeah,
Tangerine.
Tangerine.
Slut.
And the bully's name is Juice. They knock over the garbage pail that the great Mancini is put up on a shelf because that's how you keep them out.
Mm-hmm.
And it knocks over and all the slime comes out. Then they take Dodger, the bullies, and put him in a sewer, tie him to a sewer pipe, and just dump shit on him, which is
Yeah.
really weird for a kid's
Not
movie.
the best.
Like drown him in shit. Garbage Pail Kids come and save the day. Then he wakes up and he's in a bathtub around like Mancini and all the Garbage Pail Kids.
Right.
And this naked teenage kids with an old dude and a bunch
like
of children. That's really
sponge
weird.
bathing him 1
Super
minute.
weird. And alligator's trying to bite his toes. Then he's like, fast forward a little bit of time. He's still flirting with his bitchy girl. He goes on this weird like back alley clothing selling thing with her. And then he tells the Garbage Pail Kids, hey, she's really into clothes. They go, we can sew. And it's like, oh, suddenly they're magic seamstresses.
They can't even put a needle in those giant
But
midi fingers.
Their seamstressing means that alligator bites a bunch of clothes and Messy Tessie glues stuff with her snot. And then, so he gets in good with her. She has him do a whole line for her fashion show where they sing a song together. We can't do anything by working with each other. Then, out of
25
nowhere, they introduce the State Home for the Ugly,
Yeah.
which is basically a concentration camp in the middle of the city that
That's
people
always lightning
are
by.
okay with.
Yeah.
Where there's too fat, too ugly, too skinny. I have them all listed here. It's like Santa Claus, Abe Lincoln. And they insinuate that the rest of the Garbage Pail Kid gang were thrown into a trash compactor and smashed. So we're saying that Garbage Pail Kid genocide has happened at this place. And no one cares. Anyways, Dodger goes in with the biker gang from before that we'll get to. They free them, then they go to the fashion show, fart all over everybody, puke, and then everybody's happy and they ride off in the sunset. Or night. It's nighttime still.
And that was 2 minutes. Ben Begley, everybody. Let's hear it for him.
I left out some key details.
I helped with nothing.
I
in
left
that
out some
one,
key.
but
I thought you didn't want me to. I thought you wanted me. Did I step on you? Did you want some?
Shut up.
Josh is like, I never want to talk about this movie again.
No, I don't. Listen, you know me. I enjoy everything, and I.
No, it's a terrible.
I didn't understand.
No, this movie. The greatest thing about this movie is, and I need to rewatch Howard the Duck with the same blinders on that I have for Garbage Pail Kids because I think I will really enjoy Howard the Duck if I watch it for its absurdity now. Because Garbage Pail Kids, it's like, it doesn't fucking make any sense.
None.
Juice, can we play the Billy intro where Juice is first introduced, the bully?
Like, okay, first of all,
Okay, creep, gimme.
I don't have any money. If he ain't got money, he ain't got nothing.
You're running out of time, creep.
That's all he ever calls them.
creep.
Little baby gonna cry.
We don't know what he owes him money for. It's like lunch money. He looks like he's 12, and this guy's like 30,
This guy's a
My kind of guy.
and he's rolling around with like a.
Psychos. Stuff it, Blythe. Juice is mine.
stuff it, Blythe. Juice is mine. It makes no sense. There's a dude with like a weird metal arm
And then, like,
band,
the-
like a 80s Fitbit. Like he was
Yeah.
ahead of the time, or maybe
Yeah.
it's an iPod before iPods existed.
Yeah, it was like a.
Oh.
It was a cardio meter back in the day.
It's so weird. So
And then
what
like
kind
the
of bully?
fatter girl who's like really ugly looking.
Super strong though.
Yeah, real
like,
strong.
She's like the WWE wrestler of the
She's
time.
China before China was China.
Exactly. China
right?
took her influence from Sty or whatever her name
Again,
is.
like we don't know. There's no backstory as to like
No.
is Juice in school and this guy's like younger, so he gets bullied by Juice, or they're just in a bad area of town and this kid doesn't have parents because we never met his parents.
But then you find out that
and he lives with a magician, works there, but he never like goes home.
And then you find out that everybody really lives close. Like Tangerine, her apartment seems further away, and then
It's next to the magic
later
store.
on, it's next to the antique shop,
Yeah.
where you're like, wait, I think they just didn't have any other sets to
No,
build.
no.
It was crazy. But Juice is the bully ever, because you're right. He's like a 30-year-old dude bullying a kid for lunch money in the
Yeah.
beginning, and then out of nowhere later on, he's like. At
the end, he's not like, you tell him to pick up the package at 12:30.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
what
he says
package?
once the shipment gets past the border, have him pick it up at the docks, and you're like, oh, he's a drug dealer now too?
Yeah,
What?
where does that come from?
He goes and like shakes down Tangerine when she's selling her clothes in the
Yeah.
alley, and he collects the money, and then he tells her, he's like, get in, and then he drives her car off, and you're like, this is the most misogynistic, general drug dealing, woman beating bully. He's like, don't talk back in her apartment. It's all this weird shit.
He
That's
runs a
wa-
town with like two other people,
And no
Tangerine-
police,
and
apparently.
No, I didn't see.
There's
police.
not a single, because apparently the police officers, if they're there, they don't care about the state home for the ugly.
You know what's pretty funny, and this is harkens back
Mm-hmm.
to Howard the Duck, is when people see these giant alive
Yeah,
dolls,
yeah.
nobody really like freaks out.
No, especially Juice and the gang. They're just like, we've seen some crazy shit. This is nothing.
Yeah, and then they go to the toughest bar in the world, which
Which
is
is called the toughest bar in the
Yeah,
world.
which is awesome.
Oh,
and
God.
they're like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. Like, let's hang out with these guys because Garbage Pail Kids get dive bar biker gang people.
The best thing is, though, that Alligator goes in there, and the first thing he does, he goes in and he's like, too skinny, too fat. Ooh, and then he goes for a girl's butt, and he's like, nah. And then he sees the dude,
feet.
with the one guy with flip flops in the toughest bar in the world,
Dive bar.
and he just goes down literally maybe 2 minutes into walking into this bar.
Yeah.
And his first course of action is, I'm gonna bite this biker's toes.
Yes.
What's his exit strategy for that?
And what is he like? Alf loved cats. Why does he love toes? It's
He-
never explained. Did alligators like toes?
Oh my
That's something
God.
we should have Wikipedia'd. Is that like a crocodile on a thing?
Hey, I like toes. I like that we both just kind of turn into Jason Statham like fucking toes. Give me those fucking toes.
you fucking cunt.
So, you know, here's the thing though. So, you could play a drinking game with how many times Alligator mentions toes, how many times Messy Tessie goes, I'll fix it. And I gagged this time around. Like, that was too gross for me. Her snot. How many times Wendy Winston farts.
Yes.
And how many times Greasy Greg pulls out his switchblade.
Yeah.
You would be hammered within 30 minutes of this movie.
Without a doubt. Okay, here's the other thing.
yeah.
There's a huge plot hole for me. Okay.
The whole movie's a plot
it's
hole.
giant. There's no plot really.
So look at this. I have 4 pages of
Let's run it down. Let's start right them off because then we got to get into. We got some money sound clips. We got.
Yeah. I mean,
So okay, the back alley dress scene. So people come out of clubs. They're like, Tangerine, your dress is here. You're already dressed. What are you gonna take it into the club and like
where
put
are they
another
gonna put
layer on?
I'm gonna put it in my purse.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Where'd you get that? At a car in
And-
the alley of a club. And then as soon as she shows up, it's not like she rings a bell. Like people are in the club and they're like, oh, she's here, and they all run out of the club.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And then she's like, she goes from being like, fuck you, Dodger, to like, hey, you want to help? Like
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
all of a sudden,
And then he
in
doesn't
real
do
life,
anything.
By the way, during the movie, Dodger and Tangerine were dating.
Yeah. And they
Dodger-
broke up during the movie.
Tangerine is like a solid
Awkward.
foot taller than Mackenzie. That guy looked young and she looked old. Little known fact, the girl that played Mackenzie or Tangerine is
Yeah.
like a huge telenovela star in Mexico.
That
Like,
makes her
gigantic.
IMDb makes so much more sense now.
Gigantic. Yeah.
She's still doing like Disney stuff.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that back alley selling scene.
did put this.
He doesn't even help at all. He just sits there and she's like, thanks for everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What? But the weirdest thing, so
And then
I
all
still,
of a sudden they're like, "Hey, where's Seamstress?" Look,
I still want to
who
go
in
back
the-
to
like what? There's a plot is that the whole plot revolves around
Yeah.
Tangerine stealing the Garbage Pail Kids' dresses and them not getting credit for the dresses.
And then the stayed home for the ugly sandwiched in. That's the entire plot, is that somehow these garbage... I would have loved to have been in the writer's room where they're like, hey guys, we have all these crazy adventures we could do with the Garbage Pail Kids. How about we make them sew things? Brilliant!
Done! Greenlight it.
How could you think of a more boring concept
I don't know.
for a kid's movie? It's fucking terrible.
It's beyond terrible.
And can we...
It's worse than the fashion show in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Listen, I love Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That's a great
Renee wants
movie.
to come on and do that one time.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
She's in.
Yeah.
Speaking of Renee, let's play Renee's reaction
wait,
because
wait.
this ties in perfect with the...
So I should set this up. First, we should maybe play the song. Let's play it. So wait, here's what happens. Randomly out
Don't
of
play
no...
the whole
Why
song.
should
No.
we do something nice? Let's quit now. That's my advice. We can't do anything by working with each other. I ain't gonna work for free. Tell me what's in this.
Better not have
for me.
broke that. That's a collector's item.
Did it break? Good.
Come on, kids, take a shot. Show them what we
All right.
really got.
Alexis is getting a big kick out of today. It's broken. It broke. It's dead.
Didn't break. It just came on Snap. So, anyways, this is not a musical.
No.
They've never at one point said that this is going to be a musical, and out of nowhere, they just start singing this song. We can do anything by work. It's true though, Josh. We can do anything. By
It is a
working
very
with
good
each other.
message for kids
It's a
out
great
there.
message.
What's worse of a message is a kid that's threatening people to not work together with a switchblade.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
there's
here's
that.
so I have my wife Renee
Look how
Renee
you just,
Dorian.
You switched your atom bomb
Yeah,
over there.
I'm not trusting you with Atom Bomb anymore. So Renee comes in, and I right at the song point, and I say, honey, just watch the song
Okay.
and let me know what you think. And this is an audio recording of my wife's reaction to the song.
I feel like this is child's play on acid. They all look like terrifying Chuckies. They're more terrifying than Chucky.
It's true.
This is disgusting. This is the worst movie I've ever seen, and I've seen 5 seconds of it. I am so confused. Oh. What? What? Now your whole childhood makes so much more sense.
Yes.
The fact that you watch this movie on repeat.
Oh my god. I'm with Renee
Wait.
on this one.
This is awful.
So what do you think?
This is terrifying and terrible at the same time.
That sums up the movie.
Yes.
Terrifying. and
Renee Begley,
She-
Dorian, everybody.
She sat there for Renee Dorian Begley. I
Oh,
guess
sorry,
it'd be more.
sorry.
Renee, put my name in the end of. She
It's a
changes it.
hyphen.
Who knows? Yeah, that she watched just the song number, which is 2 minutes, and then refused to watch anymore.
Yeah.
But she said she actually was legitimately creeped out by the movie, which I understand.
I'm
I
freaked out
understand.
by it as well.
There's so much weird. There's
let me-
so much weird shit in this movie.
I want to reach out to something real quick. So
Yeah.
there's slime in a garbage pail.
Yeah.
And then they're jammed in there.
Somehow,
right?
magically.
By a heavy scuba head.
Yeah.
And
In the beginning, they insinuate that they're from outer space.
right.
Like
but that's
they're-
never
that their trash can was like a spaceship, but then they never show the jet engines underneath or how it landed or how it ended up in Captain Mancini's
and Captain Mancini's
shop.
office shop reminds me of the shop in Gremlins.
Yeah, there's like the weird pictures that lend all this kind of unexplained strange magic that just ends up being really lame.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you just feel like Anthony Newley's such a better actor than this film.
Yeah.
You feel like most of the actors. Mackenzie Aston is really does
I mean,
pretty.
he's worked
He does a
his whole
decent
life.
job in this
Yeah.
movie for how shitty it is.
At the end, when she's talking to him, she's like, "You're fashion. You could do anything." And he's wearing like an elastic, a glitter bow tie and a glitter blazer.
Looks like a bad Michael Jackson costume.
He looks like the worst outfit you could wear on Halloween that you just like found and you're like, "I'll just
It's
wear
like,
this."
and you're, Mom, I'm gonna get beat up if I wear this to school. I worked really hard on this, Ben. Okay.
I'll wear it.
So it's just there. I mean, there's too much to list. I know we have limited
Go
time
ahead
today, but
just
like,
go read
it's
off.
just
your,
okay. Let's say so their first outing, they go and they de-pants a guy who's driving a Pepsi truck because apparently Pepsi sponsored this movie or
Those
something.
bastards. Yeah.
Then they sit by a trash barrel that's on fire like homeless people and grill hot dogs, and then they're hung over the next morning from Pepsi and hot dogs somehow, because that makes sense.
I don't get it.
And then Juice we've already gone over. Dodger wins over Tangerine with the jacket. We already talked about that, the jacket and all that stuff. And then my favorite thing is that the next outing the Garbage Pail Kids do, where they're like, they're teaching kids we can do anything by working with each other while visually breaking into a non-union sweatshop. It's actually called non-union sweatshop. Because apparently every place in this town, it's Genericsville, USA. It's the toughest bar in the world, non-union sweatshop.
A house for the ugly.
The state home for the ugly.
State home for the ugly.
So yeah, I guess that they're telling kids you can break in and steal shit and do things together. But what they're trying to justify it by it being a non-union sweatshop. But kids don't know what sweatshops are.
And neither do they know what unions are.
Yeah, so the only thing they're thinking is, I'm supposed to break into shit with my friends.
Yeah.
And steal Pepsi and shit. What's happening?
We have a question
We have
from
one
the live
comment.
chat.
Oh, God.
No, we have a lot of comments. Ryan Johnston, the birthday boy, he just turned
happy birthday,
18
buddy.
today.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Ryan.
We're celebrating it with Garbage Pail Kids.
You're welcome.
You are welcome, world.
You know what I
okay.
did on my 18th birthday?
What'd you do?
I bought beer without a shirt on.
What?
Sounds like you.
Yeah.
Sounds like you.
Yeah. I walked into a beer distributor and I was like, hey, give me 2 cases of Beast Light. And they're like, sure, no problem.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, a lot of chest hair
Badass.
going on. Go ahead.
He wanted to know what your guys' favorite character from the movie.
Alligator, for sure.
I really like, I think Wendy Winston's the funniest, though, because he just says the most random shit.
And then he farts.
He's like, you want to see ugly? I'll show you ugly. And he's just got the strangest voice.
And he farts really
The
good.
scariest one is Foul Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Where's...
Those little creeps are sure ugly.
Oh yeah, I'll show you ugly.
He's running out right now.
There's some really good farting in this movie. Like, really good farting. If you like farting jokes, this movie will kill
As a kid, I think Wendy Winston was my favorite as a kid.
Okay.
As an adult, definitely Alligator.
Yeah.
Nat Nerd is the grossest.
For sure.
Well, no, actually, I think Messy Tessie's the grossest.
Nat
and
Nerd
then Nat
with
Nerd
his-
just pees himself all
All
the
the
time.
time. Why is he
We
always
have
peeing himself?
Foul Phil. They introduced Foul Phil, and he's the creepiest.
I'm Foul Phil. Daddy.
Oh, is he the baby?
little person.
And he's always going like, Mommy.
It's so weird because it's like,
he's like an abandoned infant.
Yeah, they're
He's
like,
a du-
"Mate,"
he's a dumpster baby.
and all the kids,
Foul Phil is a dumpster
all
baby.
the other Garbage Pail Kids just laugh every time he's like, "Mommy," and he
Yeah.
gets rejected. He gets rejected all the time, and apparently his breath is
worst.
really bad too. So he's a dumpster baby searching for his mother, who has halitosis. This film is a tragedy, guys. This is a tragedy of our times. It's about abandoned children, and there's a visual metaphor. Because Dodger keeps getting dumped in the trash the whole movie. And in the end, he's dumped in a dumpster. And when he comes out, he arises as a Garbage Pail Kid himself. And he
Yes.
saves the day.
Well done.
I wrote that down as my critical analysis of this film.
Throw that away.
I feel like we've covered most of this.
Okay,
let's
let's go
just
into
do
some
sound
junk
bites. Because Josh's brain is going to fall out of his head if I make him talk any more about this movie.
Before we get into that,
Sure.
DC Boiling asked if
Yeah.
you guys have seen the Nostalgic Critic video for this movie.
No.
I haven't.
I need to watch it then.
I guess we should watch it.
Yeah, apparently it's hilarious.
Oh, good.
I mean, he's like, it's funnier than what you guys are saying right now.
Probably.
I
Basically,
disagree.
because I'm not
Well,
yes-anding you today.
Actually,
I'm sorry,
what's the State Home for the Ugly? Okay, let's go over
Yes.
this. I wrote down every State Home for the Ugly person.
Got it.
Too old, too bald, too weird, and it was a lazy kind of cross-dresser type guy.
Too hairy, which was me.
Too fat, which was Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Too skinny was Abraham Lincoln. Too pale, too silly was a clown, and worst of all, there was too crippled. And there's a dude with a cane and like a palsy hand, and I'm like, this is the most fucking offensive thing I've ever seen. And
I didn't even see
it
the
sa-
too
It's
crippled.
really quick. It says too crippled, and I swear he has like, it's so offensive, and
We
the
can't
fact
do anything if we can hate the cripples.
The
Like,
fact that-
is just awful.
the fact that they insinuate that this garbage truck comes and crushes these people is such a dark, weird thing for a
Yes.
kids movie.
Yes.
This might be the darkest moment in children's movie history.
Yeah.
Let's go into some sound clips after that.
Let's just go down the line. Let's start
go down the
riffing.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, best telephone ever. That's when they're passing a secret along to each other.
What?
And it's
That
very.
sounded like Sylvester Stallone with 8 hookers.
Let's play that again. Hey, Hey, bring those hookers to my room. Yummy, 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 yummy.
Yeah, don't touch the balls. Just go for the shaft.
Hey, yummy, yummy. Who brought in alligator? Yummy, 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 yummy.
Hey, don't be sticking your fingers in my butthole. All right, he's always doing that.
Let's go to Chicks is Chicks, because this is actually what Sylvester Stallone said after all the hookers left.
Yeah. They left his trailer.
Chicks is chicks, and I know my chicks.
Yeah, and that's which, weirdly enough, that's also I don't know if you know this, but Purdue, the guy that runs Purdue Chicken Farms, he's really big into prostitutes.
Yeah,
loves them, and he always brings them into his chicken coops, and he has sex with them, and then he kicks them out and he talks to the chickens, and he says,
"Chicks is chicks, and I know my chicks."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how to top that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty elaborate because you managed to get literal chicks and the
prostitutes.
Yeah, the misogynistic term of chicks in there as well.
I'm
not even going to try because that was amazing. Let's go with we already have Grease of Gray. We don't need that. Juice Attacks. I think we already.
It's not worth the time it'll take to beat him up. Forget him. Come on, let's go have some fun.
Wish I could help you, baby, but the little creep's gotta be taught a lesson.
Surprisingly, this guy's only done 3 movies.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of you liking to see people bleed.
Weirdly enough, nobody bleeds in the entire episode.
It's a matter of principle. Yeah, he just and the only thing
they just throw him in a sewer twice.
That's all they ever do is keep just throwing
and how
them
about
away.
The pipes in the sewer? One's like hot tub.
Yeah.
They label it the literal things: hot tub, sewer.
Yeah, there's a getting revenge montage where the Garbage Pail Kids happen to be at the sewer pipes that lead to the public restroom Juice is using and the hot tub that whatever the other two guys.
His name is.
And then there's the other part where when they steal the Pepsi truck and Juice happens to be driving a car we've never seen him drive.
Nope.
And they run it over and it flattens it.
Oh yeah.
Because cars just flatten like that.
Yeah.
I've seen wrecks like that. What else do we? Normies. This is a good one. Normies.
With a blue tongue
I just want to hear that again.
Can you just play that? What the hell is?
blue tongue
It's Nat.
Yeah.
It's Nat Nerd.
Now, weirdly enough, and Alexis just gave me this, so I'll and the inspiration came from Alexis. I had a problem when I first moved to Los Angeles. I went to jail for it for a couple of months. But basically, what I would do is I would go into the parking lot of Norm's, and if you guys aren't in Norm's, it's a diner here in Los Angeles. It's very famous. It's been in episodes of Entourage. It was an episode of Comedians, Cars, Getting Coffee, and it's just a diner. It's like a Denny's. But I got so I got so turned on by Norm's that I would sit in the parking lot with no pants on in my car and just jerk off and scream.
with a blue tongue
There you go. You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You're welcome, Ben. I just ruined Ben's childhood in one
God,
riff.
I just can't. I can't handle these. You have something?
No, I said I helped.
That was a double team
God,
for me and Alexis.
Normies. How do you top? Damn it, Macuga. Those are untoppable this week. I can't do it. I can't top that. I can't round robin you on that one. That was too good. What else? Oh, here, Suck Face. That's a good one.
This is my favorite one.
Wanna suck face?
Actually, the first girl I ever dated, after we went out to a Chinese buffet.
Ooh.
Yeah, Knees Dynasty.
Ooh, gorgeous.
In Akron, Ohio.
Orange chicken,
Montrose,
delicious.
Ohio, yeah. We came back and our stomachs were really full and we were just not feeling it. We were laying on the carpet kind of giggling. And I was like, what do you want to do? And she looked at me and said...
Wanna suck face?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Dude. This is actually a true story.
Oh, good.
I'm serious.
So was mine, actually. Legitimate. That's the first time I ever kissed a girls after Knees Dynasty after eating Chinese food in Montrose,
Hey, guys.
Ohio. On the carpet.
Let's hear it for Ben Begley, everybody.
I was 18 at the time.
She just, and then a day
Late
later,
bloomer.
she found out about your obsession with Garbage Pail Kids, and you
broke
never
up
heard
with-
from
yeah.
her again.
Well, after I kissed her, I sang, "We can't do anything by working with each," and she ran out the fucking door.
That's it. Weirdly enough, when my dad tried to have the talk with me, we were at a place called Brookside Lumber in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we were in the car. We were waiting for some lumber to be put on the truck.
That's when he chose to have the sex talk with
weirdly
you?
enough. So I'm serious. And
I got about 30 seconds. It'll keep it short.
And he said, so Josh, let me ask you something. Are you sucking face with any ladies? I swear to God. This is what he said. So 2 days later, when a girl and I started kissing, I was really hoping that she would just say,
Wanna suck face?
and she didn't. But I think in my dad's world, he'd maybe seen the Garbage Pail Kids and thought that, well, maybe this is the time.
Do.
That's what they do.
Want to suck face?
Want to suck face?
Yeah, you know.
Wanna suck face?
I can't believe we didn't think of this until now.
Huh.
So in the movie Face Off.
Yes. Yes.
When Nicolas Cage wakes up and realizes that his face is gone, he looks in a camera. This is in a deleted scene, and he and he said,
Wanna suck face?
and everybody's like, "Oh no, not without a face!
Without a face. How do you even suck that face?
It's
We get
gross."
so much.
And then
from that
Travolta
face.
is like, "I want to suck your face off."
Yeah, we're gonna suck his face off. No more drugs for that man. Yes. What else do we have?
What do we got up there?
Renee's reaction. Red, get that. It's funny how when I recorded and sent all these, I loved them more than I do now.
Can you do? You're not pretty anymore. Or should we wait till the end for that?
I'll show you ugly. We already did that one. Windy, gross. We already did a windy farting one.
Yeah.
Let's just tummy hurts. That's a fun foul fill one.
What's the matter?
My tummy hurts!
What did you eat?
Everything!
That'll do it, all right.
And they do it in like the classic, like you can tell they were comedically told to be like, they lean in each time like, what did you eat?
Yeah.
What's the matter? And then they lean back.
When the chicken crossed the road.
And it's supposed to be super funny, and it's not. It's just, these are the most terrifying creations ever. And it's a wonder that I didn't grow up to be like the world's most warped human
You said
being.
you watched it every day after school. I watched a lot of Willy Wonka after school.
This and Gremlins were my two movies as a kid.
Gremlins is respectable.
I know
Okay?
it's
I'll
respectable,
give you
but it's also terrifying.
It is.
How did I not
This
grow up
movie
to
is
be...
not only terrifying, it's not respectful.
Oh, it's terrible. It's an awful film.
And you love it. This
the
is the definition
review
of a
on the
guilty
back
pleasure.
of this is vile, smelly, rude, ugly variety, and that's the selling point for this. Let's do
play.
I want to do I just want to make sure we end with the song because it's so great. But let's do the
You're not pretty.
You're not
Yeah.
pretty. So this is when Dodger finally tells off that bitch tangerine, not tambourine,
Her slutty sister
tangerine.
Tambourine is a little hippie. Go ahead. Sorry.
Look, maybe we can just be friends. Maybe we can just do fun things together. No thanks. I don't think you're pretty anymore.
Oh,
You burn, but you can still have all But you can still have all the clothes that you ripped off from the
Yeah.
Garbage Pail Kids
Don't
and
worry
become a
about
famous
that.
fashion designer.
Yeah.
But some 13-year-old won't think you're pretty anymore.
Listen.
Your life is ruined.
Boom! Alexis, can you play that one more time? So, listen, kids, if you're out there
Maybe we can just be friends.
and
Maybe
the
we
hot
can
girl in
just
school has
do
just
fun
got one
things
over on
together.
you,
Say this.
or in
No
town,
thanks.
look her right in the eyes and say,
I don't think you're pretty anymore.
and burn!
That'll blow
Gotcha,
her.
Tangerine, slut!
You know what? I know we're joking right now, but really, that
is a
at that
cut
age,
deep.
At that age, to burn somebody like that, that's what popular kids and popular girls specifically thrive on. Everybody
Looks.
thinking they're sexy.
Yep.
So if you take that power away, kids, don't let yourselves get bullied anymore.
Yeah.
Tell the bully, I don't think you're handsome anymore. That won't work as
Guys,
well. But tell the
record-
bully girl, I don't think you're pretty anymore.
Yes,
We gotta
yes.
wrap it up. Let's wrap it up with this song.
Let's wrap
Ready?
it up.
So this is the end theme song during the credits.
Why should we?
No, sorry, not that.
Let's quit now.
The oh shit, where is
The
it?
one I think you played up top.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Josh Macuga, this is Guilty Movie Pleasures.
And this is Ben Begley, and this is a movie that I love.
I didn't really like it.
I'm gonna get unfollowed by fans.
I hope they unfollow you cause this movie blows.
We're not even trying to rhyme.
We don't need to.
Now I just want to sing the real song.
No.
Wait. If your teacher says you're bad and sends you to the principal, you can be a garbage. I feel like I'm gonna get fired from this show after this. Macuga's
I'm
like
sending you to HR.
Next week we're gonna have a brand new co-host. Ben Begley will no longer be
Alexis
here.
will be sitting in for Ben.
Alexis will be sitting in for Ben.
Thank you guys for watching the show, really and truly. I enjoy everything, and I love being here with you. So this was a really fun one for me, and I love that your wife hated this movie just as much as I did.
Well, I love that I'm able to like geek out so much and know how terrible it is.
Yeah.
It's just this like it's more like a childhood love for it than anything. It's like I got nostalgia just blinders on.
I gotcha.
And I can see through them and see the terrible, but I still love it.
Hey man,
I want to buy the vinyl soundtrack.
you just want Keanu Reeves in that. I still love it.
Yeah. So I got to rewatch Howard the Duck with the same nostalgia blinders.
Well, you can find us on Twitter at Josh Macuga, at Ben Begley Comedy. You guys
let us know if any of you actually like this movie. Please
go
tweet
watch it. See if you can find
tweet
it.
at me and tell me if you liked it. I'm interested to know if any human being other than me liked it.
I think it's a very small minority.
I think so.
And I think when you go to therapy later on in life, you can
you mean in 20 minutes? I have it at actually 1:30 today. It's specifically
at Panera.
It's specifically Garbage Pail related. Yeah, we meet in the Panera parking lot. It's real weird.
In
their geo tracker.
We haven't picked a movie. It's a great car.
I had two. They were my first two cars.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get into that next time.
We don't know what movie we're doing next week, but until we do, see you next time.
See you next time.
Guilty Movie Pleasures.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.